Hi, I'm Antoinette, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Metro Detroit Living. That hasn't changed, but I am not going to talk about surrounding cities in Metro Detroit today. I'm going to start a new series about the housing gap or the home ownership gap. I think it's just an important topic that we need to discuss, and I think that whether it affects you or not, the knowledge can help you or help someone you know. So it's good to just pay attention and help the next person. So let's just get into it. So today we are going to talk about something that's pretty important to me. I think it's an important topic that needs to be discussed overall. But we're going to talk about the home ownership gap. So let's just get into it. Now, the home ownership gap refers to the difference in home ownership rates between demographic groups such as race, income, and education level. And when I mention the home ownership gap, some people think that that means giving their hard-earned money to someone else, or just doing something for someone else that they really don't want or need to do. And that is not at all what I'm talking about or what I'm asking for. At all. Now, I think the key to changing the home ownership gap is through education. You will see that I will say this quite a bit. I think education is the key, the most important thing. Everyone needs to be educated on how they can become homeowners, because for some people it doesn't come natural. For some people it seems like just not for them or out of their hands, or maybe they've just never experienced it. Their parents and grandparents rented, so they just don't see themselves doing it. But I don't think that this is true, and I think education on home ownership can just get people closer to their dreams and what they think is impossible. In the United States, the home ownership gap between the white household, the black household, and the Hispanic household is significant, showing like even if you combine the minority households of the black and Hispanic families, it's just so low compared to the white household. And they're just less likely to own homes. But that can definitely change. I think the reason why they're less likely to own homes is because of education and some of the other things that I mentioned before. But the main thing, in my opinion, again, is education. Education is the key to unlocking a lot of gaps in the United States. But unfortunately, there's already a gap when it comes to minorities in education. So sometimes that education has to come from other people that are just familiar with different topics. And I count myself as a real estate professional, so I love to educate people on real estate. Now, in my previous videos, I spoke about counties and cities that surround Detroit. And these counties and cities are no strangers to the home ownership gap that I'm talking about right now. Most of the cities that I spoke about in the past have a high percentage of white home ownership. And though I've mentioned before how Oakland County has more diversity, it is definitely not by a ton. But I do believe that that can change, not only in Oakland County, but all counties. And of course, how are we going to do it? By educating and helping each other. Now, some people think that the home ownership gap will continue to grow or remain about the same because of the factors that contribute to the gap. The disparities in wealth, access to credit, and discrimination in the housing market. Now, although some of these disparities, I can't really help with, I do have firsthand knowledge of them or have experienced them, but I can't make someone wealthy overnight. But I still believe there are ways for us to close that gap. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, like I said. However, it can happen. Now, I can't get rid of racism or discrimination that other people are doing towards different minority groups. And like I said, I can't make you rich overnight or give you a pay increase in your job. But there are ways to make your credit better. There are people that are professionals in the market that are willing to help anyone, including myself. But again, if I'm going to help, or if someone else, one of my lenders or someone like that are going to help, we are going to need you to put in that work, because we know faith without works is dead. So you have to put in the work and believe in yourself and believe that it can happen. Now, like I said, you have to put in the work, but we're going to give you a lot of education on home ownership, the steps to getting the keys in your hand and getting your family a new home. But I really do think that it can happen. And I do believe the gap can close a little bit. But of course, education, education, education. Well, that's it. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate it, because I do think that this is an important topic. So my next videos will go into detail about what I think will help. What work we need to put in to close the gap a little bit. And I'm hoping to get at least one of the lenders that I work closely with on the channel, so we can really go over some things that, from a lender perspective, what a soon-to-be homeowner can do to be prepared. So until next time, thank you so much. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so. You want to stay on top of this. Bye.